right. Welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. This is episode 9, the final episode of 2021. And you may not be able to see it clearly. I will adjust my screen. But Heather and I are both wearing our t-shirts for Happy Hour with Heather and Guest.
Yes, I have mine on too.
As you can see, it's the crossed out version of Masterclass with the Ghostbusters symbol through the M, and it says HHHG over here. And then me with my fedora and mustache holding the ammo as Heather mans the machine gun. It's a classic. It's available. You can get it online. There are links to a big cartel store that has a couple of cool t-shirts and mugs. So since it is still the holidays, feel free to pick one up. But yeah, Heather and I are excited to be, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I'm excited to be here. I'm guessing.
Yes, I'm excited too. We have some really fun things to talk about today. So
we do. What would you like to start with?
Well, we're gonna talk about Slow Green Thing, which is a band that we both really, really like. And they have 4 albums, 1, 2, 3, and then we're not going to cover all of them. We're just going to cover Amygdala today. And that came out in July of 2020. So that's the album we're going to be talking about today. And oh, it's a good one. So I'm excited to talk about this.
Cool. Well, we should just jump right into that.
Okay.
So yeah, Slow Green Thing. I wanted to call it Amygdala, but it's probably Amygdala. So
yeah, and that's part of the brain that processes fear or the fight or flight response.
Oh, I've always heard that pronounced amygdala. So I could be wrong. If only my brother, the doctor, were here, he could settle the score. But it's either way. The album is called.
Yeah, well, I say the wrong words and mispronounce things all the time. So
yeah, that was I frequently did that as well on A Fistful of Faceful. In fact, later on when I mention another band from Italy, I'm gonna mispronounce the title of one of their songs. So either way, Slow Green Thing, Amygdala or Amygdala, whichever, the 4th album from them. And kicking things off with Medusa's Spell. What'd you think of Medusa's Spell?
This it gets you with the opening hook right away. The guitarist shows off his chops. Incredible shredding. Then there's a heavy bass tone underneath, and this is just a really, really great song.
Yeah, I obviously agree with you on all of your assessments. I wrote down that it had the slow feel like you were entering into the Colosseum to participate in gladiatorial combat. I said there was a solid tone and riff that sets up things to come. All aspects are working in conjunction, vocals, instruments, everything. Slow tempo with a straightforward song construction. And then I said, halfway through, breaks into a solid solo, holding 1 or 2 notes for a while, just raw power. So kicking things off with a great beginning.
Yeah, and then Amygdala is their the next song, which is also the title of their album. And I love how the drums come in the beginning. Then there's this massive wall of heavy sound, and it just hits you. The tone is nice and low. the vocals go perfectly with the notes of the music. And I absolutely love the way that the singer sings.
Indeed. This one sort of caught me. Like, I heard it and then I went back, and thus began like a 2-week stretch of listening to the song every day, multiple times a day. And I wrote down, I felt like a disciple becoming aware of a path I should follow. The riff had the siren's call, like Odysseus being lured by the sirens. And I said, a perfect combination of all of the above. This song really is what hooked me. So
yeah, it's really good. And the next song is called All I Want, and I must have listened to the song at least 50 times. I wanted to figure out what the lyrics were, because I was trying to figure out if this is a love song. I think what he's saying is, all I want is that we hold each other. All I want to feel is peace inside me. All I want is just to start the endless now. I'm how often, if it is a love song, I thought it could possibly be a song about death too. But if it is a love song, how often do you get love songs in Doom? It's like never. So, this is the fact that this, the fact that they sing about this, and I just think it's great, because Doom songs are normally about death and the occult and things like that. So this is really, really refreshing. He goes on to sing about mistakes and new beginnings and being set free. I don't know. I don't think I got the last part of it right, but this is a very interesting song, and I wish they would, if they do listen to this, I wish they would post their lyrics somewhere, because I looked all over for them and I couldn't find any lyrics. So I listened to it over and over and over again, trying to figure out what they're saying.
well, I almost hope that we don't find out, because then the magic would be gone. Like, I love your interpretation of it, and that's what I'm going to believe, that this is a song about what you had suggested. And I feel like if I learn what the actual lyrics are, while that will be satisfying, it's going to completely debunk the myth. So I wrote, this one was much more ethereal, still had the same feel of the band, but a little bit more subtle. At about 1 minute and 30, the full sound kicks in. There's a sadness and a longing. So whether or not the subject matter is about, a breakup or a relationship or pining for someone, I also choose to believe that, because that's what I felt listening to it. 3 minutes, a breakdown, sort of like a bridge, and returns to the subtlety. Again, soloing is powerful, but not shredding or showing off. It was sort of like the equivalent of, seeing an athlete do something, like with one hand, like someone hits like a home run with, a traditional grip, and then someone just gets up there and like lazily knocks a dinger. And it seemed like, like the guitarist was just demonstrating a really incredibly powerful solo without having to use a lot of bells and whistles. I could keep coming up with other analogies, but I won't. So yeah, so far 3 songs, 3 jams that are all bangers. And then we've got Dirty Thoughts. So
yeah, this again, this is a song that I really wanted to know what the lyrics were and what he was saying, and What I came up with is, can't take my eyes off you, my dear. I know it's wrong, it must be clear. Hide my desire inside my shell, gives me a thought that's living hell. So we have a song about love, and now we have a song about lust. These are not normal themes in Doom. So I think this is just so awesome. And these guys, they just know, they know how to write a really good song. And this album, this is one of those albums that you could listen to it over and over and over and over and over again, and you're not going to get tired of it.
No, certainly. I mean, I listened to Amygdala, on repeat, and didn't get to, and could still find nuances that I enjoy. And yesterday I listened to the whole album front to back, so it's easily one of the, they're great songwriting, great playing. I didn't really assess the lyrics as much. I wrote it was a little quicker of a tempo and a faster riff, slows down, then speeds back up. And I said it was an interesting riff tempo. If I was grading myself as an English teacher, I would have circled interesting riff tempo and written like 3 question marks. But then I wrote more of a shred bluesy type solo with some wah. So maybe that would have curried more favor for my grade, because shred bluesy type solo is non-traditional.
Yeah, and when he sings, I can what you said about the last song about kind of feeling the emotion behind it, and this you can really feel like when he holds out the note, and to me there's a lot of feeling behind it, and I get I get that emotion being conveyed in this song a lot.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. The singing, the music, the songwriting, it all works so well together to create this, feeling that you get. And the previous song, All I Want, I mean, I certainly felt the longing and sadness. So, I didn't, again, I didn't take the time to sort of look for that in Dirty Thoughts, but now I have something to do when I go back to listen to it again. So that'll be cool. That's followed by Dreamland.
Yeah, and Dreamland, this has a really great bass line, and the whole song has a really great bass line, and I just want to acknowledge great bass playing. And I think bass, I think, is an instrument that kind of gets overlooked sometimes, so I just want to give a huge shout out to the bass and the bass line and bass players, because you guys rock.
Hear, hear. I will echo your sentiments. I wrote Dreamland, some cymbal introduction to start the song, and then a less distorted guitar arpeggio. And then I said, emulated being in a dream. It felt like I was in a dream, like the sound, it sounded like the soundtrack to a dream, even after 2 minutes and 18 seconds when more of the distortion kicks in. Reminded me a little of the Led Zeppelin song, I think it was the Rain song. So if you're out there, Slow Green Thing, and you're watching this, and I'm right on the fact that Led Zeppelin may have been an influence in this song, then please confirm my suspicions, but or say that I'm wrong. But that's what I got. I got Rain Song from Led Zeppelin. Sort of that similar. I think it was I spent more time than I should have trying to figure out if that was the song I was thinking of. But I like how you can easily tell it's the band because they have a trademark sort of sound, but all the songs are markedly different from each other. So
Yeah.
it's like real, it's not formulaic at all. And I dig that. But the last track, Love to My Enemy, do you want to jump in?
Sure. Love to My Enemy. I picked up some Tool vibes here. I really like the dreaminess of it. Then it kicks in hard. This song blew me away, and really, really, I mean, really, the whole album blew me away. So I just want to do a chef's kiss. Great job, because this album is awesome.
Yeah, I wrote for Love to My Enemy, I said, like All I Want and Dreamland, it's the most ethereal and subtle. And it brings in some more complex drums. Perhaps that was the Tool aspect that you had picked up on. And then I said until 3 minutes 20 when the song kicks in with the full sounds. I don't know what that means, but I guess I did when I wrote it. I said the chorus has a minor feel to it. The whole song is anthemic. I feel like Love to My Enemy is the song that the crowd would sing along with, like it was an anthem. Uh, and then I said 6 minutes, more complex guitar solo, less is more. That was one thing I got a feel from the guitarist here in terms of solos, was it was never flashy or showy, but it was still really like, let me show you what I can do with fewer notes. And it was really impressive. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I love this album so much that I immediately went out and did a deep dive into their previous albums. So I've been on a nonstop Slow Green Thing kick. It's been
Yeah.
dynamite.
Yeah. Really great band. They're out of Germany. Really, really great. And I hope more people, listen to this and follow them, and because wow, do they make great music.
Yeah, they should. I don't know how big they are in their circle, but they should be bigger. Um, again, I'm saying that without any context, but it should get to the point where, like, my mother should know who they are, and she's a fan of Billy Joel, so that's saying something.
Yeah, that would be great.
But yeah, I think this was a great album to close out our year of reviewing, music from bands that have put out, recently released albums. But yeah, Slow Green Thing, check them out. Definitely get their music. When you mentioned they're from Germany, it got me thinking about a couple of the few German phrases I know, and I won't make you sit through them. Except I do know the full Haribo Gummy Bear theme song in German, so I won't sing it, but I do know it. So
Yeah, my aunt, she taught home economics in Germany. And she was a teacher. She lived in France. Yeah, well, she had dual citizenship here, and then she lived in France and taught in France. But before she taught in France, she actually taught home economics in Germany, which I thought that was really interesting. And
yeah,
so,
I mean, depending on what dishes they were making, she might know the Haribo Gummy Bear theme song as well. So
yeah, I don't think so.
probably, yeah, probably not. Um, cool. Yeah, I would. So Slow Green Thing, rounding off a year that saw us listen to such greats as Low Orbit, um, Red Mountains, Waterfall King, Witch Tit, Cavern Deep, um, Slow Green Thing. Who am I missing?
Pale Horse, Pale
Pale Horse,
Rider.
Pale Rider.
Let's see. This is the ninth episode. So we've
Yeah,
done
I
8.
apologize. I'm putting you on the spot right now when it should just be me, on my back like a tortoise. Regardless, all the bands we've listened to have really been great. Like there haven't been any suggestions that have been like, like I'll listen to this because it's part of the show, but they've all been albums that I would, get my friend, like say, hey, listen, you really need to go pick this up. So check out any of the other episodes. I did mention Low Orbit. That was episode 1 that we listened to, and one of the other things that we had in line for today involved Low Orbit. You want to?
Yeah, we're going to give away a Low Orbit, their debut CD. This one here. And the only reason I'm giving this up is because I have this on vinyl. So I'm going to give up the CD. So if you want the CD, send us an email at happyhourhg
At gmail.com.
Yeah. And then you just let us know that you want this CD, and we will choose someone and I will mail it to you.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get a better deal than that. A great CD from a great band, their debut from 2014. And Heather is one of the best, if not the best, at making sure stuff gets to you on time. If you look at the compliments she's gotten on eBay or anything like that, it's like gold stars through the roof in terms of speed and packaging. So
yes, well, shipping is something that I know a lot about, and I'm good at. So I can pat myself on the back for that.
yeah, well, I'll do a virtual pat. And then the last thing we had for today was we both picked 5 albums from 2021 that people should listen to. So rather than this be a top 10 list with an order, this is more just like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff that we think you should listen to.
Yeah, some of our favorites from this year, and they're not in any particular order or anything like that. These are just some albums that we enjoyed. And do you want to do yours first, or should
Sure.
I?
Yeah, I can do mine if that's.
Yeah.
Okay, so if this was like a sports schedule or something, I went with all the home teams basically. So if we talked about them or they've appeared on our show, that was sort of the criteria I looked at, rather than do a go down a rabbit hole of YouTube and try to find albums I wasn't familiar with. I just went with what I already knew. So in no particular order, we're going to kick things off with Black Tar Superstar from Akron, Ohio, and their album is called The Black Flame, that came out in 2021. And they are a great group of guys who've live stream performed on this show a bunch of times. If you're into doomy, sludgy, hard rockin' music, definitely worth checking them out. Black Flame was the most recent. And then Green Hog from New York. They have an album out this year called Devil's Luck, and they've also live streamed on our show. And I copied their Bandcamp summary because I felt like it was a great description. A heavy stoner doom trio from Brooklyn, New York, fuzzy and low-tuned guitars with harsh Russian vocals, stirred with groovy drums and pushy bass lines. A two-wheeled adventure for bikers, stones, and doomheads. I like the fact that they called attention to the fact that it was harsh Russian vocals, because the first time I listened to it, I was like, I can't understand what these guys are saying, but
I
they're
know
not.
they
But
sing
they're
in Russian.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's right, because they're singing in Russian, not because their articulation is lacking. So, but yeah, another great band. And then uh, Cavern Deep, the debut from Cavern Deep. That was a band we talked about. In fact, we talked about that particular album on this show. And yeah, I mean, they're from Sweden, I believe, but a great sort of sludgy band. The sound reminded me a lot of Melvin's, um, and I discovered them through just looking at Instagram posts, and they had put together a concept album about music of the briny deep, sludgy jams from, and I was like, yes, this is what the music should look and sound like. I remember Scott Ian of Anthrax talking about the first time he saw an Iron Maiden vinyl, and he said, yes, that's what the music should look like when he saw Eddie. So I had the same experience with Cavern Deep. Also, Witch Tit with Intoxicating Lethargy. That was another album we talked about. Witch Tit from North Carolina. And I like them. They're sort of a Doom throwback to, like your Witchfinder Generals or Candlemasses, like really cool riffs. I don't think the guitarist and primary songwriter has a traditional music background, so a lot of the song construction is unique. And the singer's got a great voice, so it's a really cool. If you're looking for all these bands, if you're looking for contemporary groups to kind of take the torch and keep running from some of the older bands that aren't really putting out as much content anymore, then these are all bands that Heather and I are going to mention today are definitely bands you should check out. So that was Intoxicating Lethargy by Witch Tit. And then I'm going to do a combo here, Building Up the Revelation, which is Kenneth Prouty's new project. They've got 3 singles that are out: Engineering a Better Future. I don't know how to, Anechoic maybe, or Anechoic, Anechoic. And then the last single is called Patterns and Pathways. And he's keeping with his progressive instrumental metal, but one of the songs is a little bit more traditionally arranged. It's not simply him, like shredding and going in different directions. So definitely worth checking out. I'm also going to add another single by a different group as my 5th choice, along with Building Upon the Revelation. There's an Italian band who I interviewed on the show once called Iketon, and their latest single is called, and this is where I may butcher the pronunciation, Darvasa I Brinicle, I think. DARVAZAYBRINICLE. So, regardless if I got it right or wrong, it's a great jam, another instrumental sort of progressive metal. I think their description was a heavy post-rock trio with a pinch of stoner and progressive rock, led by a jam session-like attitude for fans of Tool, Yawning Man, Russian Circles, and Pelican. So there you go. Those are my 5. Black Tar Superstar, Green Hog, Cavern Deep, Witch Tit, Building Upon the Revelation, and Iketon. I snuck in 6. But.
Awesome. I like how you kept it so loyal to HHHG.
Well, that I knew that you were gonna do like a traditional here are 5 that you should hear, and I was like, I'm gonna do the opposite and just do the home team, bands we've already heard or who've played on the show. So I thought it would be a nice kind of counterbalance.
Yeah. And mine, and this is in no particular order at all, but some albums that I really enjoyed this year. Black Willows, and the album is, I think you pronounce it Chimera. And boy, is this heavy. It's heavy, heavy, heavy doom. And when I heard it, it just completely blew me away. Loom, which is a band out of Chicago, and their album is called False Calm, and it's more in the post-rock type. A band called Heavy Temple, and their album is called Lupi Amoris, which means Wolves of Love. The Angelus, and their album is called Why We Never Die. And Low Orbit, Creator, and Low Orbit is, that was our first episode, was talking about Low Orbit, and we talked about, when their album was going to come out, and they released it, and it's called Creator, and it's dynamite.
Yeah, it's an excellent list. You should check out all the bands that we've discussed. You can go back and watch any of our episodes to hear our insight to any of the groups that we've seen before. There's also corresponding playlists that Heather's put together on YouTube. So all in all, it's been a killer 2021.
Yeah, and I have one more thing I would like to do. I want to thank some people and give some shout outs.
Okay.
So first of all, Mr. Andrew Davey, that other dude.
That other dude, Andrew.
Thank you for being the best ally I could have. And you talked about holding the ammunition, on the shirt, it's you holding the ammunition. So thank you for holding the ammunition with grace. And thank you for everything. I want to thank Mark Kitchens for creating our theme song. It's called HHHG-FFFF, and his band is called Slow Draw, and I really encourage everyone to check that out. I'd like to thank Grave Next Door, Turkey Vulture, Electric Ring, Slow Draw, Gates to the Morning, Ghost Hello, Kenneth Prouty of Building Upon the Revelation, and Moon Low, they were all on our music comp that we put out this year. So thank you for that. And they all had live streams, on HHHG. Every one of them had a live stream, and, they're just excellent musicians. I'd like to thank Brad Eller, our super fan, who has supported us from the very beginning. Sarah Wisbanger for having me on her show, the Wisbanger Show, and talking all things HHHG. And Pure Sonic Outcast and Black Tar Superstar for all of their live streams and all of the support that they've given our group.
Awesome. Well, I will add two to that list, because you've covered almost all the bases, but a quick shout out to Curtis Doer and all the folks at C Squared Marketing who have been kind enough to direct clients to our show to either talk about their albums or do interviews. So thank you for that. Aside from Curtis and everyone at C Squared Marketing, I have to definitely credit Heather for being without you, there is no Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. And aside from manning the Browning machine gun, you are the engine that drives this machine. You are the engine that drives this machine. So thank you for everything that you do. And also for those of you out there who are watching and or listening, thank you for tuning in. And we will be back in 2022 with even more episodes and jams.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for listening. And we really, really, really appreciate you. And we'll see you next year.
Sounds good.